Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Built Like This podcast. I'm your host, Maxine, on episode 339. Excuse the brick background. Yes, we're doing things a little different for this episode, but it's all good. Let's go ahead and get into these topics. So, where should we begin? Where shall we begin? Let's talk about Andrew Schulz. Okay, so Andrew Schulz has been under fire recently because of these alleged, because I don't believe they're coming from a place of racism, but Andrew has been getting the label of being a racist or being a white supremacist. You know, these lazy remarks that people will give to white men who happen to not be liberal. And I just think it's so funny because if you know Andrew Schultz or you follow his career, like I don't know him personally, of course, but when you've been listening to somebody for so long, there's an intimate relationship that you create with them because of the audio, right? Like because of the audio that is podcasting, that is, and now as of, for the last few years, it's been consistent with visual, but there's an intimate relationship that is built when you are consistently listening to someone's voice, when you are tuning in every week, twice a week, maybe even more, to hear their thoughts, to hear their opinions, and you could kind of grasp what type of person this person is. I've been following Andrew Schultz, listening to him for, I would say, about 7 years, around there, maybe even 10. But for a very long time, I've been a listener to his podcast with Charlemagne the God, Brilliant Idiots. I've been listening to Fragrant since it started, when it was the original, the better Flagrant. See, I said fragrant before. Flagrant. It was Flagrant too, and now it's become just like Flagrant. Nonetheless, I've been a listener to it for many, many years, since the genesis of both podcasts. So I would say, a good understanding of who Andrew Schultz is. And I don't think he's a racist. I really don't think he's a racist. I don't think he's someone who hates black women. I just think he's a comedian. I think he is someone who is just funny, and he cracks on everybody, and he doesn't shy away from jokes that are controversial, jokes that are just uncomfortable to listen to and laugh at because of the sensitive times that we're in. That's what I think about Andrew Schultz. And I've always appreciated that from anybody, especially comedians. Considering the time that we're in and how much we are forced to say yes to everything and be okay with anything and not call out the BS that is of our society, I love Andrew Schultz. I really do. So when he had Shits and Gigs, is that their podcast name? Shits and Gigs, I think. When he had them on his podcast recently, he said a joke about black women pertaining to our attitude and just the lazy stereotype that we have heard from the very beginning regarding black women. Oh, we have bad attitudes. Oh, we're quick to fight. Oh, yada yada yada. But this actually just sparked a point, another point that I want to bring up, because I was scrolling through. I was scrolling through um X, formerly known as Twitter, and I see someone saying, if you watch this, then don't talk to me. And she was referring to Baddies, which is a show on Zeus, I believe, is hosted by Natalie Nunn, and it is a new version of Bad Girls Club. Let me see if I can find it. Um, Yeah, it's a new version of Bad Girls Club. And I used to watch Bad Girls Club when I was a kid, which is definitely not something that you should watch as a young girl. It's um very much a poor example of how black women should be featured on TV, in the media. But of course, violence, sex, things that are just debauchery of that nature sell pretty well. Anyway, I can't find the clip, but there's a clip. Oh, okay, I think I found it. Okay, I think I found it. So there's a clip of Natalie Nunn hosting an audition for the next season of Baddies. And you see a bunch of women scantily dressed, and they're having to come forward and kind of prove themselves. They're all dressed like just trashy, ghetto, just you know, it's just not my type, right? As far as like my style, this is just not for me. Anyway, so they come forward, and I guess they have to prove themselves to Natalie Nunn and the other judges by showing how bad, quote unquote, they are. How much of a fighter, how much are they someone that you shouldn't F with? Because that's the whole point of the show. Bad Girls Club, the original, and now Baddies, they both share the same type of desire for how women should be, or just the same sentiment for that. I want bad girls. Literally, it's about the name. How can you demonstrate yourself to be a bad girl? And it's just really disturbing. It's disturbing. Anyway, I'm gonna play a clip of just one of the many things that is consistently shown in this show. And this just proves, unfortunately, the lazy stereotype that Andrew Schulz was referring to in his joke. Now, obviously, this is not applicable to all black women, right? I'm a black woman who doesn't look like this, who doesn't behave like this, who doesn't condone this. I don't hang out with women who do. So I can't relate. But I have definitely seen examples of this in my upbringing. I have seen examples of this in some surroundings I may happen to be upon. So this is nothing foreign. And that is what the issue is. A lot of black women who are far removed from this reality of black women, they are quick to say, "Oh, you're being a racist for saying this is black women, this is what we do." When no, I don't think Andrew Schultz is being racist here, because what is this? This is a clear example of what Andrew Schultz means. So let me play this clip again. Well, let me start it off and see, have y'all see it. Why she did that though? So let's start off with this. What is she wearing? And why is she wearing this? Right? She has a shirt and just her panties. You hear the background, whoop that trick, whoop that trick. This is a part of the culture that they have promoted and stayed consistent with on this show. And what does this then turn into? This then turned into a culture that persists beyond the show. Beyond the show. Young girls who are watching this show, they see this as a thing to do, as a thing for them to get into. This is cool, don't F with me, yada, yada, yada. No, that's not cool. Give her. And for those who are listening, I encourage you to watch the YouTube video of this episode so you are seeing what I am saying. But just to describe it, I'm showing a clip of this episode of Baddies Midwest. And this episode is the audition episode. And these women are on here auditioning to be a part of this show. And I guess this portion of the audition is to prove how quote unquote bad you are and how you can't be fucked with. So this woman is grabbing the wig off of this other woman. Her wig has fallen off. Both of their wigs are off. You see the wig cap. She's barely dressed. And the security officers come in, of course, after a considerable amount of time so that they could get some pops in and show some level of a fight.
She's so cute, too.
She's so little.
Let her come up here real quick. Let her come up here real quick.
Come on, big fat no minute. Big fat no minute, man.
Wait,
That shit, man.
Chicago.
You ain't getting shit. Back up.
Oh, bitch.
I said back up. That wasn't shit. Hey, 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 hey.
I like you. I like you. Yeah, that's the kid.
Bitch, I'm
Say
sorry.
that because you're the smallest one.
So Natalie Nunn hands cash dollar bills, y'all, to the smaller frame woman who got attacked by the other woman. And she dismisses the other woman because she feels like she attacked her and it wasn't a fair fight. And she tells the smaller frame woman, I like you. And, basically like you defended yourself well. And I'm proud of that.
You a bad bitch.
Bitches
The
be
fuck?
hating.
I didn't
Bitches
like
be
that shit.
hating.
I didn't like that shit.
Huh?
I didn't like that shit.
I know that's right.
And there we have it. Now, why is Cash Doll, that's her name, right? Cash Doll, the rapper. Beautiful black woman. I think she is gorgeous. I love her chocolate skin. She's a rapper. She's also an actress. She's on one of the Power shows. And she seems to be a respectable young woman. Like, I don't see her beefing with anyone. I don't see her fighting, rolling around on the floor, looking stupid. She is a beautiful woman. Why was she on the show as one of the judges for this dumb ass show? You know what I mean? So again, this just annoys me because you see blatant examples of black women looking foolish on TV. And whoever controls the TV has the most power, has the influence upon influence of our young people and even our adults. So let's now get into what Andrew Schulz said regarding black women in this episode with Shits and Gigs. So let's see if I can find that here. Because there apparently there are examples of him talking to multiple guests about his his sentiments or jokes regarding black women. But anyway, Shits and Gigs, flagrant. Let's see if I can find that episode. But yeah, it's just so silly. It's honestly so freaking silly. I don't think this is fair for us to now have it out for Andrew Schulz because he's pointing out the obvious. Like, he's pointing out the obvious. That's what it is. Ugh, I'm trying to find the damn clip. You know, you trying to find something and it never pops up. That's not it. Let's see. Okay, whatever. Let me show you this other clip. And then we'll talk about what we see here. Okay. Okay, wrong one. Let's do this one. Okay, it's out here.
There's the NBA and there's the WNBA, my boy.
I mean, shit, WNBA 2024, they're going crazy.
Yeah.
Shouts out Caitlin Clark. And shouts out Angel Reese.
I know you had to do that.
And shouts out Kai Siri. You know Cardi Series?
Yeah.
Shout. I have no idea.
But, so let me just ask you, as a black dude, like when you said "shouts out Caitlin Clark," was there like a buzzer that went off in your head, like say a black woman real fast, or else people will think they're gonna call you a sellout? Yeah.
I like that you kept it real. You can't leave camera right.
And then you had to say 2 black girls.
No, I think it Cardi Series that she's fine.
She's so beautiful.
I saw her in real life. She is beautiful.
It's ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah, and she's not as tall as I thought she would be.
There's the NBA and there's the WNBA.
Okay, so that's one example.
Specifics or anything like that. Obviously, there's just literally no excuse.
Pause.
There is no excuse.
Agreed.
Pause.
There's no excuse.
There's no fucking excuse. Ow.
And
Can you pause? No excuse for that. I just want to take in the beginning of it. There's no excuse for jokes. There is never an excuse for making jokes.
But can we try?
I'm not going to ever make an excuse for being a comedian. There's never an excuse for making jokes.
Yeah.
Okay? That is a real statement said by a man. I just want that to be clear. There is never an excuse for making jokes with the boys. Go on. Let's take it serious. Look at how sad he is over on the left. So you're Trini.
Yeah.
Oh. And the white side is what?
Irish.
Is Irish.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Oh, in today's climate, you're a colonizer right now.
Yeah.
Right? But it's really not fair because the Irish got fucked too.
Yeah.
You're double slaved.
Yeah.
It sounds insane. It does sound insane, but it is
mathematically
factually true.
Mathematically speaking.
Give me potatoes. That's potato slaves.
Yeah.
Fuck sake. That shit's probably harder to pick than cotton if you pick about it.
Okay, so there's
So you're Trini.
Yeah.
You mean
It's
like
funny.
I'm just trying to have the argument based
Another
on like
one.
the words that are said, which is does a country like does Hawaii have the ability to maintain their Hawaiian culture? And when Western culture starts to come in, or even Japanese culture, where these other cultures start to chip away at the Hawaiian identity, do they have the right to be frustrated with that, or are they racist when they're frustrated?
Yeah, but again, you're talking about a colonized place that was in like that's where the difference is.
Okay,
it just
remove
is different.
colonization. Like
But
do a thought
cannot.
experiment. Just do a thought experiment.
Yeah, as a thought experiment, if they had never been colonized, don't worry about it.
Everybody's been colonized, so that cancels out everybody.
I mean, they're still colonized, like right now.
Okay. This is why these things are so difficult. It's really hard to just even hypothetically discuss it.
Like if Mexico got mad at a bunch of Americans moving in, I would honestly be like, it's just a country changes. Like Mexico has been its own country for a long time. Country changes. It's not Indians moving into England where it's like, well, we have to come here because you actively took all of our jewels. They're still in your fucking palace. So I have more opportunity here. I'm coming.
You think those jewels are doing anything?
India was a
jewels
wealthy.
are going to help $2 billion. I hate this revisionist history where India was wealthy and then now
India
all of a sudden they're broke.
Yeah, but how is that now all of a sudden? Like, what are you even talking about?
I mean, look at Africa. Like they took all their resources, and Africa's still a poor country, continent.
I mean, like, I just know that you don't have anything to substantiate that. So it's like, there's no way to. We're living in like a world where like there's no way to prove the trajectory would have gone completely positive. There could have been infighting.
I don't know if it would have been positive. I don't know if it would have been completely positive, but
Yeah.
it would have been. I said it was just completely different trajectory. I didn't say it was worse.
Okay, so these are some examples of Andrew Schulz, I guess, looking like a colonizer, a racist, or whatever the case is. I'm going to finally show you the clip of specifically what Andrew Schulz said when he had Shits and Gigs, which is two men. That's the name of their podcast, Shits and Gigs. They're based in London, I believe, somewhere in the UK. And they are getting flack for their lack of response to what Andrew Schulz said. So let me play this.
There's more cushion when they get slapped.
Oh, you don't know about this?
Glow up the other culture.
Yeah, so you'll see a guy who's had a black girlfriend. All of a sudden, he's got buzz cut, like clean shape up.
Glows up,
bro.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that.
They shave their hair because they start losing it. Because they're so stressed being around this black girl complaining about shit all the fucking time. That's why they gotta shave their hair.
Nah, bro. White guys with black girlfriends,
they grow a beard
because
there's more cushion when they get slapped the fuck out of. That's hilarious. I think the black girlfriend effect. It might be a protective instinct, bro.
You think?
Protective.
Yeah. Do you guys have you ever had black girlfriends?
Yeah.
Have you ever had white girls?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. What's your favorite?
We love them all.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We love them all.
Yeah. That means white.
No. That means white.
No. Translation.
Kendrick fans, get him!
Her name is
Okay, we'll pause there. Okay, so why am I not offended? Because I don't care. I don't care. We base our identity off of what a comedian says. Like, we get so hyped and hysterical over what a comedian says. And not to say it like he holds no intelligence because he's no. I think a lot of our smart people in society are comedians. Absolutely. So that's not what I'm trying to say here. What I'm saying is a lot of us in like on Twitter, on social media, or just in the real world, sometimes we allow our self-worth and confidence to be added based on what people say online or on a show or these comedians. It's like comedians are meant to make you laugh. That is a point. They're meant to make you laugh about specific. Well, if it's a good comedian, their goal is to make you laugh about the absurdity in life, in our society, and just have you think about, yeah, this doesn't make sense. Like, it's supposed to spark something in you. So what is Andrew Schulz doing here? How is he sparking our mindset here regarding Black women? He's making a joke. I don't know. Also, things are just not always that serious. I don't feel like he's trying to make it seem. I think he's just harping on the stereotype of Black women being violent. But here's the thing. What did I just show y'all? What did I just show y'all of the show Baddies? What did I just... Do you need a reminder? Do we need a reminder? Do we need a reminder? I just showed y'all a clip of Black women willingly going on a show called Baddies and getting into fights on purpose to prove their badness. Okay, let me show another clip. This was actually the first clip I wanted to show y'all.
One more.
Face each other.
Come on with the 613.
So Natalie Nunn, again, who is the host of the show Baddies, she's actually from one of the older seasons of the Bad Girls Club, and she has transformed her life to become this executive producer and owner of this new version of the show, and she's doing well business-wise, but to what fault? It's to the fault of Black women. And of course, these Black women willingly go on the show. They're not coerced. But all in all, the point is you see examples of women, Black women, purposely going on TV to make a fool of themselves, which make white men like Andrew Schulz have the license to say a joke like what he just said. Now, obviously, I don't think he means that to be the case for all women. Of course not. That is just such a silly mindset to have. Oh, he's saying that once, that means he's saying for all. No. He's just saying that for the examples that he's seen on TV and maybe in real life. But obviously not every Black woman is the same. But let me show y'all this clip.
Snatch a wig. Snatch a wig.
So again, Natalie Nunn is telling her the women coming on the show, snatch a wig, get on her, get to her ass. She is promoting such behavior. Of course.
Oh, bitch. Snatch a wig. Snatch the wig. Oh my God. It is. Snatch the wig challenge. It's a snatch the wig challenge. Well, it is. Snatch a wig. Snatch a wig.
One more.
There we have it.
Each other.
Come on with the 613, baby.
Snatch a wig. Snatch a wig.
Win. Oh, bitch.
There we have it.
Snatch a
Again,
wig.
these women, these black women, these are black women.
It is. Snatch the wig challenge. It's a snatch the wig challenge. Well, it is. Snatch a wig. Snatch a wig.
One more.
Ooh, hello? So now when we get to what Andrew Schulz is saying in this joke, let me run it back.
Why they gotta shave their
Nah,
hair.
bro. White guys with black girlfriends,
They grow a
they
beard
set the
because
dick
there's
up.
more cushion when they get slapped the fuck out of.
Oh, what did he just say there? Oh, that men who date black women have to grow a beard to protect themselves for whenever their black girlfriends slap the shit out of them. Why would Andrew Schulz say something like this? Because of this. Because of this.
Face each other.
Come on with the 613, baby.
Snatch a wig. Snatch a wig.
Win. Oh, bitch.
Snatch a wig. Snatch the wig.
Because of this.
It is. Snatch the
That's
wig
why.
challenge.
That's why.
Snatch the wig challenge.
It's in your
Well,
face.
it is.
So, instead of talking about the reality of that, not just on TV, but the impact of seeing this on TV, on reality TV, seeing that on TV will influence black women, both young and older, to behave like this on the streets, to behave like this in someone's home. So, all in all, is Andrew Schulz racist for what he said? No, absolutely not. He's a comedian. He's pointing out this epidemic of black women acting a damn fool and seeing examples of that. And he's pointing out the absurdity of it all.
I think the black girlfriend effect. It might be a protective instinct, bro.
You think?
Protective. Do you guys have you ever had black girlfriends?
Yeah.
Have you ever had white girls?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. What's your favorite?
So anyway, shits and gigs. These are two black men. One is light skinned, the other is dark skinned. The light skinned one says he has some Irish in him. Pause, right? I guess I explained his light skinnedness. All in all, they are black men. They live in the UK, and they got a lot of heat for their lack of defense of black women during this moment. Did black women need a defending? Maybe they could have found a way to, in a humorous way, find a way to spin that moment and say something about white girlfriends, like, well, I'd rather be with the black girl. She got ass. White girls don't. Like, I don't know, something like that to kind of divert the topic. But they didn't. They laughed. They sat there silently laughing and giggling and kind of agreeing with what Andrew Schulz said. So, of course, because this is a huge podcast, Shits and Gigs, on another huge podcast, they got a lot of backlash for it. And they decided to have a press conference, basically giving their side of things.
Yeah, there were a few jokes made that were incredibly inappropriate. One specifically pertaining to black women.
Yep.
And in the clip, Andrew was making a joke. I'm not even going to get into specifics. Making a frankly racist joke.
Yeah.
And we were laughing at it. And
okay, it's a racist joke, right? Okay, it's a racist joke, but I just showed you an example of how it's not far-fetched. But it's so easy for us to say racist because, well, you can't say anything bad about another race. No, we're not all perfect beings. We're not. We do have some examples in our black community that make us look bad. We do.
There's first of all, before we get into specifics or anything like that, obviously there's just literally no excuse. There is no excuse.
Agreed.
And fight or flight is a real thing. Like it is, yeah. Fight or flight is a real thing, and it's so not easy to say, but when you're in the situations, you look at it through a lens of like, bro, if it was me, I promise you I'll stand up, I'll kick them cameras down, I'll smack homeboy in the face, I'll say this, I'll do that. But when you're in there, you're in shock.
You're in shock, and all you want to do is move on.
Yeah, bro, move on is the fucking word, bro. All you want to do is fucking move on. Just move on to the next thing. Just move on to the next thing.
There's so
and like
many
we had to
times.
say a few times, bro, just move on. Just move on.
So many different topics. We're like, move on.
Yeah.
And it's not even like about pity laughs or anything, but we just wanted to
get out of that situation.
Literally get out of that situation, keep the ball rolling. And we thought it was going to be more of like a bros chat.
Yeah,
it ended up being something.
It ended up being something that's like really, really hurt people that look to us for support and look to us to feel protected. And protected is the main thing that I wanted to discuss, is that it is our duty to protect you guys.
Facts.
And it is definitely not cool to be in that situation. And again, not be the ones to stand up and kick the cameras down. And we fucked it on that occasion.
We did.
It's not going to happen again. And it's about being human. It's about realizing that you don't know what you're prepared for. You don't know how to prepare for something
you don't know,
what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And once it's happened one time, you're like, fuck, all right.
You learn from your mistakes, and that's literally
learn
from your mistakes.
Yeah, we fucked it, and we're sorry.
And we definitely do apologize.
It's, for me, like, it's one of them ones where you don't realize that, like, for one, when you're part of a community, you don't realize that you can hurt your own community.
Especially
when you're not. Okay, I don't care anymore. This is, we get it. You're sorry. You're only sorry because of the backlash. I don't really care about an apology though, because I just don't see it as a big deal. You have a comedian being a comedian. Like that's just it. Andrew jokes. I'm gonna say that. Andrew Schulz jokes on every race. Do you hear me? He's an equal opportunity joker. He literally he will crack on any and every. He does not hold his whiteness as the superior race. He doesn't talk like that. He doesn't joke like that. And if there are moments when he may have shown examples of that lightly, I guess, it's a joke. Like I just, again, I don't recognize him as a racist. And I just feel like it's so unfair for him to get this lazy remark or lazy label just because he dares to call out the foolishness that is present, that is clearly present, visibly present. I just showed you an example of Black women acting like a complete fool. So anyway, I'm Team Andrew Schulz. In case I wasn't clear, I am Team Andrew Schulz. Schultzy. Anyway, let's get into Tia Mowry. No longer Tia Mowry Hardrick. We know, we get it, Tia. You are divorced. You divorced your husband. You're a good man. He's a good man, Savannah. You divorced him. I am now feeling different about the whole situation because I think a lot of people like who commented about this and had their opinions about, why would she divorce him? He's a good man. There's no reports of him cheating on her and doing her dirty, X, Y, and Z. And I'm going to just show some pictures in case you're not familiar with which twin this is. There's this YouTube channel I watch consistently. And every time he talks about Tia Mowry, he posts the other sister, Tamara. Tia, Tamara, yes, they're twins, but I could clearly see the difference between the two. This is Tia. This is her ex-husband of recent, Corey Hardrick, who is the father of their children. This is Tia and Tamara together. Yes, I think they're identical, but I just know I could easily tell the difference. I easily could tell the difference between them. But there are some twins I feel like I can't tell you who is who, honestly. There's actually a twin. There's a set of twins, obviously redundant. There are twins who I know personally, like a part of my friend group, who I can't tell you who is, like, if my life depended on it, I truly can't tell you who is who. I can't tell you who is who. They're both sweet, nice women, but I honestly cannot tell you who's who. I really cannot. And it's quite funny to me. I think one wears glasses and the other doesn't. Anyway, the point is, there are twins who you could tell the difference, in twindom, and there are some who you absolutely cannot. This is Tia Mowry. Tia Mowry is the quote unquote, a lot of people say, and I hate to even say it right now, but I'm just gonna say it for context purposes. They call Tia Mowry the black twin. They do, because her husband, her ex-husband now, Corey Hardrick, he's a black man, while her sister, her twin sister, Tamara, she married a white man. And the gag is, because I feel like people forgot, they're half white. Hello? Like this idea of like, oh, one's a black twin, so one comes from the dad and one comes from the mom. Like, what are we talking about? Literally, they're half white. Their father is a white man. Tia's father, Tia and Tamara and their siblings, their father is a white man. Okay? And they have a black mother. When I tell you black, like my skin color, I think she's even darker than me, type of black. Anyway, this is Tia Mowry. Okay? Quote unquote, the black twin. She divorced her husband. She's the one who filed. She's the one who said she wanted to graduate from her marriage. Literally, she used those words. And I definitely got on her for that, as did a lot of other people. They felt like she was leaving a good thing. And, going back into these streets is not worth it, girl, yada, yada, yada. And she actually even spoke on like, oh, just because I'm having a hard time dating right now doesn't mean I should just go back to my last relationship, just be I'm just like, well, I disagree. Absolutely go back. Go get your husband, girl. Anyway, nonetheless, there is a new show of hers that she is releasing. It's a reality show of her talking about her life post marriage and just navigating it all. Let's see, when does it premiere? It is set to premiere September 20th. Oh, so it already no. Okay. I'm about to say, I don't think it premiered yet. There was a trailer that came out on September 20th. I remember watching that trailer, and we saw just a sneak peek of her return to reality TV. And the docuseries is called Tia Mowry, My Next Act. In this 11-minute teaser, she talks about just life, adjusting to life now that she is divorced from her ex-husband, Corey Hardrick. And she talks about how she didn't realize she had a choice. And what she meant by that is oftentimes she was, I guess, pressured. Maybe that's the wrong choice of words, but ultimately, she felt like she just didn't have the choice to live her life the way she wanted to live her life. She felt like she had to live life according to the pleasure and approval of others. And unfortunately, this is a common experience many people have endured. Whether you grew up in a religious upbringing or you just grew up in a very high pressured family that expect you to follow a certain script. So it is difficult to find your voice and stand on that and not feel guilty for not following other people's advice about your life. And I actually released a YouTube short as well as an Instagram reel about this very topic, how you need to live your life, not how others want you to live your life. Live your life according to what you want. And it's so hard. It's very difficult to do that, especially if you are maybe even naturally a people pleaser. You want everyone else to feel happy, but you go home and you realize you're not happy. You go in your bed, you're not happy, whatever. Anyway, I dealt with a lot of that when I decided to move to Texas, and that took a lot of unlearning to grasp. And I think I'm at a better state when it comes to that. but it's definitely not easy. It's definitely not easy. So I definitely relate to what she's saying here. And it made me had a different perspective regarding her decision to divorce Corey Hardrick. We don't know her reasons behind it. She still doesn't give her necessarily a direct pinpoint reason behind it all. You know how typically, oh, well, he had a baby on me, or, he's been cheating on me left and right, he's been hitting me, all these things. But apparently, none of that has taken place. I think ultimately, from what we could tell, or from things that we would probably put together, I think they just were going in two different paces. And I think that's just his countenance. Like, he has a presence about himself that he seems to be more serious, and she's more goofy and jokey and laughy and all these things. And prior to the divorce, she started to make these Instagram reels, these like comedic Instagram reels, and these trendy videos that will go viral. And she would try to include him into the video, and he just wasn't as enthused, and he wasn't really into it. And I felt like she just probably grew tired of him not matching her wavelength. And maybe, he felt the same, and maybe they argued a lot more. Maybe she wasn't as willing to be the wife that he maybe needed. It could be a lot of things. And again, of course, we're theorizing here. We don't know the intricacies. Neither of them have pinpoint exactly what is the reason. And I think even if she were to tell us the reason in her new docuseries, I feel like because it's not either of, because it would have been shown by now. It's been months, maybe even a year now since she filed and since everything has been official. But it's been like, I feel like even if she were to tell us the actual reason, I don't think it's anything of the sort of, oh, he cheated, or, he had a baby on me, all these things. I think it just would have been more of what she has already been saying, which is, we just grew apart. I felt disconnected, and we just didn't like the same things anymore. And it's been like that for a while, and I just wasn't happy. And look, yeah, it people still feel like that's not a good excuse, or, you should never look at your marriage as like a thing you graduate from, and yada, yada, yada. Sure. But I also don't feel like people should be staying into marriages, relationships, anything that don't make them happy. And I know happiness ebbs and flows. I think that's natural. That's a part of life. But if this is something that she has been consistently experiencing in her marriage for quite some time, then I don't fault her for deciding to divorce. So all in all, I say this to say I do support Tia Mowry's decision. I approve this message. Okay, so I'm going to play a clip of her of Tia saying that she is no longer close, or not as close, with her twin sister Tamara, and people feel like it's Tia's fault. And if you have watched them over the years, like beyond Sister, they had a reality show together. And I forget, maybe it was just called Tia and Tamara, but they had a reality show together. I tuned in. It was like 3 seasons long, and it was a really good show. It really was. We really got to see the dynamic between the sisters, and there were times when I felt like Tia wasn't a great sister. I really felt like that. Honestly, I remember how Tia would be dismissive or just selfish in her ways. And then I could also look back and see maybe Tamara wasn't as confident in her boundary setting. Maybe Tamara wasn't as strong in her stance on things, and she allowed her sister and whomever else to dictate her feelings. So I think both of them could take some responsibility in the decline of their relationship. I definitely do think it's two to tango here. But yeah, the overwhelming reaction to what Tia says is Tia's fault. It's Tia's fault. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip of Tia talking about her state of her relationship with her sister in this teaser of her new reality show.
Having a mom and a dad in one household. And when you're dropping your kids off, you actually visually see how that is no longer.
We're about to go to Daddy's house now. Being alone has been the most challenging part of my divorce. It's times like this when I feel and wish that my sister and I were still close and I could, pick up the phone and call her. But that's just not where we are right now.
How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm okay.
Yeah, I've been seeing the headlines. I know y'all are going viral right now with the awkward hug. Like, it's so
exhausting.
stupid.
It's exhausting.
I know.
The red carpet video, yeah, about that. This was the first time that Corey and I had ever seen each other on the red carpet since the divorce. This is an event where
I've always wanted the family dynamic.
All right. Well, there we have it. There we have it. Just a quick preview. I'm looking forward to watching this show and seeing just whatever she shares with us. Maybe we'll get more details regarding their relationship. Who knows? But I definitely think it takes two to tango here regarding Tia and Tamara's relationship. And and I think Corey, he is ascending in his career. I think he's doing pretty well. He's getting exposure after exposure. And I think that's good for him because prior to this moment, I knew he was an actor. I've seen him in a couple of things, but his name wasn't as known. It wasn't as prevalent as it is currently. So good for him. And I wish them the best. Honestly, I wish them the best. Okay, speaking of relationships, let's get into Cardi B and this nigga. Cardi B and Offset. Now, they've recently gone viral yet again regarding their marriage and her feeling like she is done with him. If you guys remember, just not too long ago, she talked about not too long ago, she filed for divorce. She filed for divorce from him, and this was the same day she released that she is pregnant with their additional child. I'm saying additional because I don't know what number child. I think this is her their third child together. And she's since given birth to that child, and it's just been crickets since that moment. Obviously, Offset, not even obviously, I've seen pictures of Offset there at the arrival of their child, which is good, don't get me wrong. But it just makes me feel like, what's really going on here? I feel like something is not true, or this is all concocted in a way to increase the relevance of Cardi B and probably Offset as well. And I'm saying that to say Cardi B hasn't released her sophomoric album since, it's honestly been like 7 years, maybe more. It's been, hold on, let me see. When did she release her first album? Because that's the only album she has. Yeah, 2018. 2018 was when she released. So it's been 6 years. 6 years since she's released her last album, her only album. And she's had a baby back to back, which is fine. Her body, her choice. She's had a baby back to back. She is just doing whatever she wants to do on her face, looking totally unrecognizable. Hey, it's your money, all these things. But yes, she's not been available musically. And she's been featured on a few tracks, and I think she released a few singles, but most of them have been with other featured artists. The point is, Cardi B is not releasing another album. She is not. She's like Rihanna. I think now that Rihanna has established a a secure revenue of income. And same for Cardi B. I think they're just like, look, this music shit, it was nice, it was fun. Shout out to everybody. I had fun. I think they're both just like, yeah, I'm good. I have no urgency to release new music, never mind a comprehensive album. I just feel like neither Cardi B or Rihanna care to continue their music career. So anyway, Cardi B was on Instagram just going off about Offset and saying a lot of foolish things. Let's take a listen.
Funny that niggas think that they could fuck on anything. But when I start talking to niggas, right, you want to play those games with me? We're going to play them games too. Since you want to fucking threat me, talking about you want to take my shit? You want to take my shit because I'm moving on? Move on. Why can't you move on? It's no fun when mama got the gun, right? It's no fun when I'm slanging pussy, right? Now we're going to court war, right? And I told you, get off my phone. I don't give a fuck. I'm tired.
Okay, so it got cut off because if you guys know, when you're on Instagram Live and someone tries to give you a call, whether it's FaceTime or just a regular audio call, it cuts off from the live. So that's what's happening several times throughout this clip. Let's look at the next one. So Offset actually decides to comment during this live, and he says, "You effed with a baby inside. Tell the truth." So he's claiming that Cardi B had relations with another man while she was pregnant with their last child. Okay. Okay, I didn't expect that to be the next clip. But that's ultimately what I want to show y'all. And if you didn't know, what's his name? Offset cheated on Cardi B for some time. He's been caught left-handed time and time again with his dick in his mouth. What's the saying? Dick in his hands, whatever. The point is, he has been called out and proven to have cheated and made Cardi B look foolish time and time again. Yes, she has taken him back. Yes, she has stayed in this marriage and still continues to be legally married to him. She said, she's gonna take a break from him, but then in the next follow-up clip, she'll say, I want some dick. And she said that to say she's gonna go back to her husband because she's not interested in going to anyone else. So ultimately, I just feel like this is all a bunch of baloney. I really do. I feel like this is yet another example of them trying to remain as relevant as possible to gain as much popularity as they can. What's greater than being talked about is being talked about. Like, people like to hear that you're talking about them. So maybe, sure, let's say they're still going through some issues, right? I feel like her going on live, him commenting on her live, all these things, I think that is concocted. So let's say this again. I think, sure, they may be going through some issues in their personal relationship, in their marriage, but I feel like this is all manipulated in a manner for us to continue to talk about them for their relevance. That's truly it. But I do want to briefly just touch on, because I have to go. I'm at work, y'all. So if you've been hearing some bells in the background, that's on purpose. I am at my workplace. But let me just try to say my last point before I wrap up for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. And I apologize for the tardiness, but we're here. We're still released on the same day. So it's all that matter. It's all that matters. Anyway, I think it's just foolish when women try to cheat back, and they do it to like, oh, I'm gonna cheat back with your nigga, with one of your close guy friends, or I'm gonna cheat on you while I'm pregnant with your baby. It's like, what? Why are we using our bodies as bait? I just think we just gone so far off from our common sense, and thinking that you allowing another man to enter you is smart to get back at your boyfriend or husband for laying his dick in someone else. You see what's happening here? Like, you're using your body as a tool instead of like genuinely, like, if you genuinely found interest in someone else and wanted to pursue another relationship, that's something different. But when you go out of your marriage with the intent to cheat back, I think you look like boo-bootiful. Honestly, boo-bootiful. I don't see anything righteous or credible or warranted about that. I don't care how long your significant other has been cheating on you. If you decide to go out of your relationship to cheat back on your nigga for just for the sole purpose of revenge, you look like a fool. In my opinion, you look like a fool. So that's it. That's all I got to say about that. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you are subscribed. That is your way of showing support to this podcast. I really appreciate that. Shout out to all of my new subscribers. I've been seeing an increase. So if you are not subscribed yet, make sure you are. And shout out to my OG subscribers. Your support means so much to me. Make sure to leave a positive review, of course, of this podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And I will check in with you all next time. Peace.